History and Headlocks. Class is in session.
Okay, there we go. Can you hear me
I can hear you loud and clear.
perfectly? Because we are doing this new. Ugh. Forgive me, everybody. Horrible weekend. If you're not here in the East Coast, where it is hot as fuck,
Mm-hmm.
and it's America's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Very loud, very depressing. It's raining, I think. I don't know. And they decided that if you want to put your air conditioners on full blast, goddamn, we're gonna go with that shit. And I mean, I really don't want to be on going on tirades or anything. But Ari, how are you doing today?
I am exhausted. I'm exhausted. As you know, I went to the GCW show out in Coney Island yesterday.
Yes.
It was beaming hot. We were walking on the boardwalk to kill time, and oh, good lord, I was walking there like, why did I come out to like? I have regrets. The sun
Mm,
was just beating on me, and I had to put sunscreen so I wouldn't burn. But by the time we sat down at the show, which was held in the baseball stadium right off of Coney Island, it was so nice. It was so nice. It was like breezy. The sun started to shift a little bit. It was breezy. It was so nice and it was fun. But I got home around midnight, maybe exhausted, tired, wet because it was raining.
hmm
And then, the fireworks was just popping off and on all night. And here I am, half asleep, but dedicated to the show, damn it.
Yeah, I didn't even wake up yet this morning, and I already got a text from you. It was like, "Can we push the recording back a little bit?" And I was like, "That's fine. That's perfectly fine."
Yes.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I am the most lenient person ever when it comes to this recording stuff. So it's like, listen, as long as we do it, we do it. It's just because, like
Exactly.
I said, the weather getting to me. My eye, I'm trying not to rub it, but allergies are such a bothersome now. So yeah, this is gonna be one of those recording sessions. But
Yeah.
before we do step into the classroom, I did have one question for you about I wanted to get your thoughts on these sequels or remakes of these movies that's been coming out recently. Because we just saw Toy Story 5 come out. We're seeing a lot of remakes.
Yeah.
What was the word? A lot of the animated movies are now becoming live action. So
Yeah.
kind of want to get your quick thoughts on that.
It's so funny you mentioned that because on our way to Coney, when we were on the train, all the stations have, now they have the screens instead of the posters.
Hmm
So the screens, all of them were showing the little clip for the new Moana movie that's coming out, the live action with The Rock.
Yes.
He's there with the full wig and he's doing all these like, hey, 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 with Moana in the background. And I'm like, man, they're really promoting the hell out of this movie.
Yeah,
Um,
he even looks more ridiculous in the big bodysuit now. But
Meanwhile, I don't think he was wearing the bodysuit while he was flexing in the video. It looked like his actual arm. That's the tattoos and stuff.
right.
But yeah, it's crazy how, Toy Story, the first Toy Story came out, we were kids. Both of us were kids still.
Yes.
I was
Well,
like,
I was just born.
yeah, you were just a baby.
Yeah.
And I was like, shoot, I don't know, 13 or something like that. 13 or
Yeah.
14 when it came out. And the fact that I remember taking my niece and nephew to see, I believe, 3 and 4 in theaters.
hmm
And 3, they were kids. 4, they were teenagers, but they wanted to watch it for the nostalgia. And now we are here on 5, and we have Woody balding, like John Cena was. He's
Yes.
got a little dad body now. He's got a little pop belly.
hmm
And I mean, hopefully this will be the last one. I haven't seen it yet, and I really don't know the premise of it other than, technology is coming in, taking over the toys, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
But my God, like 30 years of Toy Story.
Right.
I'm a middle-aged woman now. Like, it's crazy. It is crazy, but um, I think it depends. Really, it could be hit or miss. Some are necessary. Some are necessary to tell the story. Others are just like, why are we doing this? There's no need for it.
Right. But
Come up with something.
when it comes to the live action stuff, it's a lot of hit or miss because it's everybody remembers the animation style, so it's not going to be picture perfect. I don't know if you remember years ago when they came out with the new Aladdin live action, and everybody had their criticism of the Will Smith genie.
Oh yes, I remember that.
Right, and then it's just like other stuff as well. But is there a point where some movies should just like, pardon the phrase, but die? Like, there's no reason to do sequels or do another one.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you could do one or two movies, maybe a third if the story is really compelling. But after
Right.
that, I think just let it, like you said, let it die. Let it just stand on that, and let people just watch it for nostalgia.
Because you remember the original, yeah, not now that you're to call it the original, but remember Meet the Parents with Ben Stiller and Robert De Niro?
Yeah, they've got like
I,
what, 4 movies already or something like that.
they have another movie coming out, I believe, coming out next year, and the only reason that movie's a thing is because Ariana Grande's in it.
Right.
Right, and she's like the plot seems interesting, where it's like Robert De Niro's character seems to be like in love with her, not like in love, but it's like she's dating Ben Stiller's son, and
Mm-hmm.
Robert De Niro's character is like, oh, like I like this girl, but like Ben Stiller's like very curious about her, doesn't really trust her, so it's like I kind of get it's interesting, but it's like the first two movies were fine.
Right.
They
Yeah.
made another one, and because the thing is too, it's just showing how old all these people are now.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. You know,
Yeah.
kind of like kind of coincides with like the Bloodline storyline. Like, how long is this gonna go? How many sequels are we gonna have of that?
Well, there's a lot of people in the family, so that's just another thing on the side. But just like
Exactly.
it's like how long can you keep a franchise going? Aside from your superhero and your horror movie remakes, that's a given because
Right. You
every
always need.
decade's going to have a new version of something.
Right. Exactly.
Right. Because like
Exactly.
the Halloween franchise is technically dead, but that's going to come back in maybe another couple years.
Most likely, Rob
Just
Zombie has his way.
yeah, it's just not going to be with Jamie Lee Curtis anymore. But damn well there's going to be another version of Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
But
Grandchild getting killed by Michael.
yeah, funny enough, it's always interesting with growing up because it's like I thought that's where my name came from, but no, but thank God. But we are here once again for History and Headlocks, and this is going to be one of those. I don't know, how would you describe this episode to everybody that's tuning in?
Good question. I mean, we're going to be talking about the anti-American, un-American gimmicks. So I think it'll
On
be,
4th of July weekend.
yeah, on the 4th of July weekend, America's 250th birthday. I think it'll be a mix of like an actual history lesson, because I'm sure some people may not know some of these wrestlers and some of their actual backgrounds.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe might be a little comedic with some of the gimmicks that we're going to discuss.
Yeah. I will say it's a good balance too. It's a mixture of the characters that you grew up with and some that I grew up with.
Yes, exactly. That I would still familiar with.
Yeah, and I will preface this: we're not going to talk about every anti-American gimmick. I think also too. Let's clarify what that means. It's not. We're not going to talk about the characters that are from a different country or like different place of the world, like Japan or some other shit like that. It's going to be characters who were directly against America.
Right, right. And
So
they made the point of being pro whatever they were. America sucks.
yeah, pretty much. Listen. I know I'm in this country, but I hate it. So,
Exactly.
yeah, I mean, we could say like how that is going on in today's world, but that's a different subject for a different day.
Completely different subject. Very
Yeah,
sensitive subject.
because yeah, but let me ask you this: what do you think is the appeal of that in the world of wrestling? Why do you think that was a thing at all?
Well, I think when these gimmicks popped up, they made it coincided with the actual current events that were happening in the world during that time, right? Like you had the Soviet wrestlers during the Cold War, you had the Middle Eastern wrestlers during the conflicts going on over there, during like, the Iraqi wars, both Iraqi wars basically, and then you just have the rivalry of the border, Canada, United States. So um, these promoters, WWE, whoever, they just wanted to capitalize on that and turn their American heroes into even bigger heroes. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, for this episode, we narrowed it down to five because there's really pretty much five distinct characters and
Mhm.
gimmicks that stood out as very anti-American with different what would you say, relations or different like affiliations, let's say,
Different affiliations. Yeah, that's a good term. Different affiliations.
because all of them are not just the standard. Oh, like from one specific country or region of the earth. It's all
Mhm.
different aspects of the world, and I want to bring up this person because this was the first person you mentioned when talking about this, and that is Mr. Nikita Koloff.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna bring him over here.
Yeah.
And he's not very big, but everybody, yeah, there we go.
There you go. Yeah.
So, can you tell our lovely listeners what is this man's background?
Yeah. So Nikita Koloff, who is supposed to be from Russia, Soviet Russia. Um. So
Oh
his real
no.
name was actually his real name was actually Nelson Scott Simpson, and he was from Minneapolis, an all American guy,
Yeah.
and so
So
he happened to,
I'm sorry. Just when I think of Russia, I think of Minnesota.
yeah, and the guy's last name being Simpson, right?
Yeah, very much.
So how did he turn into Nikita Koloff? So apparently he went to college with Road Warrior Animal, and Animal was the connection to bring him into the wrestling business. Now this guy didn't even know how to wrestle, and they already had a gimmick for him.
Of
They
course.
already knew. They were like, shave your head, grow in a goatee, and just show up. And he shows up, and they tell him that now his name is Nikita Koloff. His uncle is Ivan Koloff, who isn't even Russian himself, by the way. I don't know if you knew that. He's from freaking
Of course.
Montreal.
Of
He's
course.
Canadian. And they paired them up with this other wrestler who was an American wrestler, but he was a turncoat. And they did the whole Cold War USSR gimmick. They wore, the red singlet with the hammer and sickle. He had the big bandana that said USSR. And he was so dedicated to his gimmick that this man outside, I mean, during his on-screen presence, he would only speak in Russian. He actually learned how to speak Russian for the gimmick.
Eh, I believe you when you say learn, but when I look back at some old promos, it's
I mean, listen,
I mean,
the dude being American, obviously he didn't sound Russian, but to the average American who doesn't know what Russian sounds like, he sounded Russian. you know,
let me
especially
speak to you, young lady. You're very pretty. You'll make me very happy just looking at you. Yeah, yeah. That's Russian for you.
he didn't speak English. He only spoke Russian, so
But
nobody
when
would
he
know.
but when he
You know,
tried speaking Russian, that's kind of what it sounded like.
well, to us now, but back in the day, people down south didn't know what the fuck Russian sounded like. You know what I mean? So
There's so many jokes there, well, but carry
I know,
on.
I know. And he was so dedicated to the gimmick that even outside of the ring, he never spoke English. He had Ivan be his interpreter basically, so he helped him like set up his like gym memberships, renting an apartment, all that kind of stuff. He was, translate as if the man didn't know English. He even legally changed his name to Nikita Koloff. Like that's just dedication to the game.
I mean, you call it dedication. I call it, I don't know, stupid to a
Well,
certain extent.
I mean, yes, looking back now, you're like, wow, dude, what were you thinking? But this was a time when wrestling was all about the kayfabe. So he didn't want to come out and act like he didn't speak a lick of English on TV, and then he shows up to some place in the middle of nowhere and gets recognized, and there he is speaking perfect English. It would just kill the whole aura of his gimmick.
I was about to say, I know he did some interviews saying that he would go like to his local grocery store, and a fan would recognize him and be like, "Hey, you motherfucker, get the fuck out of our country!" And then he'd just be like standing there, be like, "Okay," or then he get the occasional, "Oh, can I get a picture and autograph?" And then whether he was a heel or a face at the time, he would
Yes.
say no, or as a face, he'd be like, "Sure, young lad," and then try and pull off the accent. But it's just,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. But I know it's hard for you to understand because you weren't alive when he was wrestling. Basically, you
yes,
still weren't alive yet. But he really pulled it off, in my opinion. As a child growing up watching him, he pulled it off. He
I
pulled it
think
off.
just looking at like, well, one physically he looks impressive. Let's get that out of the way first.
Oh, are you kidding me? The dude was a
Yeah.
beast. He looked amazing, and he was a killer in the ring.
Now, I know back in the day that you can correct me if I'm wrong, but there was maybe an incentive, or some wrestlers were told they had to talk. But if he was like a silent Russian soldier, maybe I would buy a little more. And then maybe when he finally speaks, it's like, oh, maybe let the fucker speak normal. Like he doesn't have to go full on Russian with it.
But that's the difference between wrestling then and wrestling now. You're looking at it as a wrestling fan from this generation. You have to
Okay.
see it from the eyes of the wrestling fan of that generation, where they didn't know that wrestling was fake. They didn't know it. They still believed that wrestling was very much real.
Yeah,
Kayfabe was alive.
but what if you were to transplant him, or yeah, transplant him into modern wrestling? Would that work, or would you still have
I
him
mean, look at
try and
look at
pretend to do a Russian accent?
look at Miro.
What about Miro?
Miro is like the modern day Nikita Koloff.
Yeah, but you know what? He actually has an accent. He's from his country of Bulgaria, not from fucking Minnesota.
But he would have to push it and make it extra. And look at Lana.
I was about to say Lana would be the better example because she's the one that actually was doing the whole uh Bridget Nelson character from Rocky 3,
Exactly.
where pretty much she just did the accent, and and she was also like an actress too, so she had a background in doing it, experience wise. Well, I understand, yeah, but just like she had a background in acting, but this guy, Jim Rat, Jim, well, not Jim Rat, Jim Head, fucking muscled up, fucker.
Total.
Now it's like, oh, like on top of you learning how to wrestle, you need to learn how to speak another language and say it right,
Yeah.
or at least make people believe it.
Yeah.
Make people believe it.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm not understanding where you're going with this, Mike. I'm sorry.
It's just that I
I
just
don't.
find it. It's just ridiculous. Just
Well,
the
that
speaking.
again,
The speaking thing is the only ridiculous part. I'm looking at this
you're
at.
seeing it through the eyes of a modern day wrestler who doesn't fall for it anymore. But again, you have to see it through the eyes of the fan back then who wholeheartedly believed that this dude was truly from Russia, that he was truly Ivan Koloff's nephew, that he was a true killer in the ring, that he was a true Soviet, and he hated America.
Okay.
You have to suspend.
I guess
You have to
yeah.
suspend your believability and believe it, and just fall for it, because that's what fans were doing back then. Everybody who watched, especially down south wrestling, they really believed in everything that was on TV. I mean, the guy went to Puerto Rico and they started throwing shit at him and cut him up. They cut him up.
Yeah, I can believe it. I mean, I can
Yeah.
only imagine their rental cars, like how many they had to go through.
Oh, absolutely. Like it's just back then they all did it. They
Yeah.
all did it. You know?
I mean, the way you're putting it, okay, like that makes sense. Where it's like that character fits for that audience of the Southern. Like
That
they took our jobs, like people like get the fuck out of our country if you don't like you don't act like us, blah blah
and
blah.
you have to also remember in the 80s it was the Cold War, so the US and the USSR were very much enemies.
I think that's also going to be a thing we're going to mention too, where at the time this is based off a war that's going on in real life.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Because we had the same thing happening in WWF with the Bolsheviks, who again weren't even
Yes.
Russian either.
Yeah.
So, it was just a time where they just needed a major heel, and to get that major heel to put over their American wrestlers like Magnum TA, Sting, Ric Flair, and the Road Warriors, you brought in the worst enemy that you can bring in at the time, which were Soviet killers, basically.
Yeah. And it was always interesting to see him stand next to Ivan Koloff because I know Ivan was much older, but it's also like compare and contrast, like those really old man, and then there's like this younger Russian kid who's very muscular. Like Jesus Christ, like
He towered over the guy. Like, this is my baby nephew, Nikita.
I mean shit. If
I
they
mean,
would have made a third World War, he could have been it.
he could have definitely been a third Road Warrior, And I think at one point he even went with the Russian Road Warrior,
Of
the
course.
moniker, but then he eventually was the Russian Nightmare, which
Yeah.
was the opposite of the American Dream.
And I know him and Nikita, not Nikita, fought Nikita. Nikita fought Magnum a lot for the U.S. title a lot
Yes, they
back in
had.
the
That's
80s.
probably his biggest rivalry was with Magnum TA.
Yes, and Magnum was on his way to be the world champion, but then tragedy struck and
Horrible car
everything went
accident.
to hell. But then Nikita kept going, and then weirdly enough, they turned him babyface
He
to
eventually did, yeah.
yeah, he's being very friendly with Sting, WCW, NWA. So it's like okay, that's fine and all, but I think as a heel,
But the
he was definitely better as a heel.
Yeah, absolutely. Because considering the feud, I remember the matches he had with Sting, and they were hard hitting, fantastic matches. Like these guys, you would have thought they really did hate each other.
Yeah,
You had the All American Surfer Boy, and then you had the I Hate America Russian, and they were just going at it in the ring. The face turn, I can't even remember what led to it. I'm going to just assume that he was so over with the fans at that point that they
I,
just kind of had to do it.
I
And
have a
then
feeling it was something with the Dangerous Alliance where like Heyman was trying to recruit him, and he just didn't want any part of him. Maybe
yeah,
I might be wrong, but
I'm not sure. But then they ended up pairing him up with Dusty, and then it became the Superpowers.
yes, yes, where America and Russia teamed up,
Unite. Yeah, because at this point, the Soviet Union had already fallen.
of course.
So he kind of was no longer considered Russian. They kind of relabeled him as Lithuanian because now all these different countries popped up out of nowhere.
Yes.
So I guess that was their way of um, cleaning up his gimmick. So he was no longer this old Cold War relic.
Because I definitely remember them trying to this is gonna be a weird word to use, but Americanize them, where they do
Hmm.
sit down interviews and be like, "Oh, like now I own gym, now I have house, now I have family." It's
Yes.
like okay, trying to make him like everybody else, but okay.
He's like, I have assimilated.
I have now infiltrated America. I am
Yeah.
now one of you.
I know. And the sad thing is, like, behind the scenes, his wife was battling cancer and passed away.
Oh really? Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, and so like, and there was a point where he kind of like stepped away from wrestling because of it, and that's when he came back into WCW because he started off in the Jim Crockett promotion, which we spoke about a few weeks ago.
Yeah. And did you know he made a one-off appearance in NWA TNA in 2003?
I remember that.
Yeah, he was under a hood, under a white mask. I think
Hmm.
he was aligned with Vince Russo.
Yeah.
But I think it was like I think it was like a couple of weeks thing, but it wasn't like long thing, but I remember seeing the clip where he revealed himself, and like Mike Tyson's like, "Holy shit, it's Nikita Golf!" It's like who, who?
You gotta
But
be open to that one.
I think that might have been his last like mainstream appearance in wrestling.
Yeah. And he kind of just stepped away.
Yeah,
And the guy, he still looks really good, in my opinion.
yeah.
Older, sure, of course, but he still has a good shape to him. He still has. I always thought he was a good-looking man. He has his good looks.
Yeah, again,
And
he had the body and the looks, and then just
yeah, he always had that Goldberg thing going on. Just
funny
almost
enough, it's like he was like the first. He was kind of a prototype of Bill, but then they looked at Bill
yeah,
later on.
pretty much. I mean, I mean, that's that big muscle-bound man, bald head, goatee, stone
Yes.
cold furious, takes
Yeah.
no shit, kicks ass.
Something about bald wrestlers that really like connects with people.
It does. I don't know what it is, but it does. As we see in AEW right now.
Yeah. And I do want to make. I'll make the comment as if you're not gonna do. But some of those tights that Nikita used to wear was really up his ass most weeks.
Oh yeah, they were like that they were like that Borat style.
Or like we know how like we've been joking about like hey like Andrade like how he's feeling when he takes the pants off. It's like woof. Like
Right.
we saw
Like,
everything from Nikita too.
yeah, we sure did. Dude had he needed to size up a few sizes on those singlets, but no complaints from me.
Not for nothing. I think he was his size is just that his muscles were not cooperating.
I know, especially his upper body, his shoulders, his pecs, they were just so wide.
Yeah.
So
Maybe that'll be a
wide.
future episode. We talk about wrestler bodies.
Sure.
You'll have a field day on that one, but let's talk about somebody else that's very non-American. Not me.
Oh boy. Probably
Switch.
I would say probably the most non-American, but I think there's somebody else that might surprisingly
Yeah,
take over.
yeah. But Iron Sheik.
Baba.
I mean, from what I could tell people about Iron Sheik, where it's pretty much he's always known as the person that Hulk Hogan defeated to win the world title to start the reign of Hulkamania. But looking back at all his old stuff, I mean, oh my God, what a character! What this is pretty much what he was. He was a character.
Yes, he was. He was a walking cartoon.
Yes.
A walking cartoon. I mean, look at him. The
Like,
mustache.
is there anything that like stands out? Because I know like they did vignettes with him where like he like I don't know what those things were, but like when he just like
Oh,
say his shit and then just do the fucking like bell
that
shit.
yes, those big. I don't even know what they're called. You're absolutely right, but I know they were very heavy.
I want to use the word dumbbells, but it's like once people see what I'm talking about, it's gonna be like a modern. It's like a different version of it.
They look like gigantic baseball bats almost.
Clubs, the clubs.
Clubs. There you go. They're big, gigantic clubs that were like probably as tall as I am.
Like,
I'm
he'd be
not
like,
that
you
tall.
say hak too, and then just be like, now I
Just
prepare to beat somebody's ass.
and you're watching this and you're like, bro, man, that upper body strength. Because remember that he used to actually challenge other wrestlers to try and do it, and they couldn't.
Yeah, I think the only person modern that was able to do it was Mark Henry.
Mark Henry, yeah,
Yeah,
and me,
and that guy's a fucking beast.
he's a wall.
Yeah,
I mean, I think did the Ultimate Warrior do it?
maybe, but
Maybe like for some reason in my head I'm picturing that, but that could just be me, Mandela effect. I don't know. But yeah, this guy, man. Oh, hello everybody.
yes. We're on a new program. We're still testing all this stuff out, so it's not going to be clean and
Some
smooth. Yeah, but
Give us, please.
Iron Sheik, pretty much where again, like we know him for the guy Hulk Hogan beat, but then years later, after wrestling, when his career's all said and done, was pretty much just a fucking walking cartoon where he would do interviews and this is his words, he'd be like, "Fuck the Hulk Hogan," and
My
and
lord.
just walk around in full get up and
Yeah,
have all these medallions, like all these. He was like an Olympic athlete, I believe, too.
An Olympic wrestler. Yes.
Yeah, so he was walking around with his gold medals, but it
Boy.
was just like this dude. Like once he got drinks in him, it was over.
Oh boy, drinks and God knows what else. We know there was some other stuff there, too,
Yes.
as we know. Um, he was. Listen, there's no words for it. When he was still with us, and he would post on his social media, all caps, just cursing Hulk Hogan out every chance he could get.
Or whoever, like when Charlie Sheen had his meltdown, he goes, "I'll fuck the Charlie Sheen too."
I know, it was like, dude. And then wasn't he on Howard Stern? And like somebody called in impersonating, was it Macho Man?
It was Macho Man, the Killer Bees too. Like,
Hmm.
like, like he was. Like, it's funny you mentioned the Howard Stern because that's where the famous clip comes in. It was just something like, "Oh,
Yes.
oh, I'm gonna fuck you and make you humble," and just, just
Going
Jesus.
off. He just went off, screaming into the mic, and you're like, this dude is unhinged, man.
For any family that has like that unhinged uncle, that was Iron Sheik.
Yes. Yes.
Be like,
Sure.
please, uncle, don't say anything stupid. It's like, what do you mean? And then they say something racist or obligatory, like wrong. That's Iron Sheik for you.
Person in front of little kids, and you're like covering their ears, like you didn't hear that.
Yeah. But funny enough, like my mom and my dad have met him, but it's like if I feel like everybody in like, anybody in your family, like at one point or another, have met this man at a
I think,
random location.
yeah, I think I want to say my brother saw him somewhere, and he said that he was kind of stinky.
Oh Jesus! But yeah,
And I'm like, man, why didn't I get to meet the Iron Sheik? That would have been hilarious.
and I think the other thing too is like, and here's the funny thing: it's like everybody else like, do you recommend any Iron Sheik matches? No, I say look up promos and that's it.
Yeah, his promo work is just so wild, and you will get a good kick out of him.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, not to say that he was a bad wrestler. I mean, dude obviously could wrestle, but there was
I mean,
aside losing to Hulk Hogan and winning and defeating Bob Backlund, that's
that's
it.
it. I
That's
mean,
it.
he was in a team with Nikolai Volkov, and that was pretty much it. Tag
Yeah,
champion, world champion.
and that tag match ended when he and Hacksaw Jim Duggan broke kayfabe and got
Yeah,
caught.
you were talking about kayfabe before, but when the American hero and the guy from Iran are pulled over by a police car because they have weed in the car,
They're getting high together, right?
doesn't look good for
Not a
Hacksaw.
good look for either, yeah, for neither one of them. And I know that the Iron Sheik got fired. Did Hacksaw get fired?
Probably not. I think they probably fired Iron Sheik because I remember when he came back. We're gonna talk about when we talk about the next gimmick where they brought him back and pretty much just didn't really acknowledge who he was before, but we'll get into it. But
Because I'm like, how can you not? Like, you just completely changed him into a completely different person. It was so weird.
I
Total
think
recall.
I will say too, like we showed the picture before, but I think the one thing that stood out for him was his wrestling boots because he had the
Oh,
pointed
yes.
tips
Those really cool pointed tips.
that what we see a lot of people do later on. Hell, even Xavier Woods did that shit for a little bit. He was just doing it for fun.
Yeah, I mean they're unique. They look cool. I thought they always looked kind of cool to me. I was like, wow, they could be used as weapons too. You know?
Yeah, I always believe like those shits must have hurt too. Like if you're putting somebody, those things must have hurt a little. You would think.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure there's something in there to keep the tips curved upwards. You know, it's not like hollow. It'll just flop over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we gotta talk about number 3, and that's Mr. Sergeant Slaughter.
Oh, I thought his name was SGT Slaughter.
Yes, can we just talk about that for a brief second here, where
Tiffany,
our
she's so
our our beloved women's United States champion is showing how young she is, and She
Yes.
fucking said SGT Slaughter. It's like, and I heard that. I immediately thought like LA, and so it's like
She,
SGT Slaughter maggot.
oh my god, I couldn't believe that. I mean, I could believe it, but at the same time, you think she's been wrestling how many years now? 3, 4 years?
5 years,
Five?
they said.
You would think you would think that a prerequisite while training is watching old stuff.
Yes.
I would do that. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Sean should start doing that. Like, hey guys, we're gonna show some wrestling from the 80s and 90s, just so that you can, have a little knowledge of the
I mean,
business that you're
I wasn't offended by the whole Vasira when she pulled the Viscera card, but when she said SGT Slaughter, I was like, I knew. It, I always like overblow things, but it's like I almost fell out of my fucking bed. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
I just sat there like, girl, girl, come on. Like,
Technically, she's like my generation. We're like near the same age.
yeah, because how old is she now? 20.
Yeah, I'm 31, so I might be older than her, but like we're in the same age gap.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, more
trying
or less.
to be I'm trying to be nice with that one, but it's just like, come on, girl.
I know there was something from couple, maybe like a year or so ago, where they were talking to her about music, and she didn't know who Limp Bizkit was.
Um,
And my nephew was like, "How do you not know who Limp Bizkit
we'll
is?"
be here
I'm
all
like,
day, all
does
day.
she
No, no.
like
So
someone who would listen to Limp Bizkit? She looks like a Swiftie. Come on, and a Swiftie and Ariana Grande fan, and those girls. That's what she would listen to. She wouldn't be listening to Limp Bizkit. She wouldn't be listening to early 2000s new metal. Come on.
but Sergeant Slaughter. Now you're probably wondering, wait a minute, how could this be anti-American? Well,
Right.
they
He's
do a
GI
character.
Joe.
He was, and
He was GI Joe.
I found out too that when he got offered it, he went to Vince and pretty much was asking for permission, and Vince was like, no. So then Vince fired him when he did it, and there was like, then I don't know what made him bring him back, but
Which
when
is
he
like
came,
you would have thought Vince would have jumped on that opportunity.
yeah,
GI Joe was one of the biggest cartoons on TV. Kids loved. I mean, I loved GI Joe as a kid. Like we would play GI Joe, and I would always be on the Cobra team. I
of
would always be
course.
on the Cobra team. Not my choosing. It's just that's where I ended up. People would be like, yeah. Toys were so selling out everywhere. So you would have thought Vince would have been like, "Oh, this is a great opportunity to collaborate with a huge brand and have one of my wrestlers become a cartoon character on the show."
But I think it was that they weren't willing to give Vince money for it, so Vince was probably like, you know what, then fuck you. I'm not keeping you. But then,
That could have been
it's always about money at the end of the day. But when he comes back, he's not GI Joe. He's all of a sudden an Iraqi sympathizer.
a turncoat.
That's they would not stop using that word every time. It's like there's that turncoat again doing the nefarious things in the ring. But it's like,
Exactly. Um, that was, in my opinion, it was a very bold move of them to do that. During that time, it was the first Iraqi war, the Gulf War. So there was a lot of anti-Middle East, anti-Arab sentiment. The word. I'm
sentiment.
sorry. My brain is like, I'm on my second cup of coffee. I need to.
Listen, it's been a long weekend and it's too hot over here. But yeah,
We
just
are over.
definitely tell me from what you remember, like the time, like what the feeling was. Because I mean,
Oh my god.
like aside from the wrestling side of it, like
Hmm.
in the real world, it was
Hmm.
like nightmarish or like very confusing time. I would say.
It was, and it was like, very patriotic here on this side of the world, because like we're at war, we have an enemy. They push that propaganda on us.
Yeah.
So it was all about patriotism, all about the good old USA. And here comes this guy who was a representative of the USA for so many years,
Yes.
who now, like you said, he's Iraqi sympathizer. He's a turncoat. He is now aligned with the enemy. He's coming out dressed in their military gear, and
Yeah.
he's got his cronies with him.
Mm-hmm.
Got the flag. He spit on the American flag basically, and how dare he do that? You know, and it's just wow. The fans really ate that up.
He even got a Medal of Honor from his good friend Saddam Hussein,
Saddam Hussein, as he calls him.
who's
Just opened a memory there for me.
yeah. And we talked about the boots for Iron Sheik. He said like, oh, like these were personally delivered from Saddam Hussein. So then he started
Yeah,
wearing the pointed boots.
as if they were some kind of, treasured Middle Eastern type of thing,
Yeah, he had a
Yeah,
manager named General Adnan, and then he had Colonel
yeah.
Mustafa, who was the Iron Sheik.
Who was the Iron Sheik? And that's where everybody gets like, what? Like, that's the Iron Sheik. Why is his name not General Mustafa? Like, that's the Iron Sheik. But there's no acknowledgement that he was the Iron Sheik. He's
Yeah,
not Iraqi. He's from Iran.
yeah. Nope.
It's
Now he turned. He changed countries,
yeah. I mean
but
that. I mean, yeah. I mean, if they could have just kept him as the Iron Sheik, they didn't have to give him a whole brand new name, or they could have just called him General Sheik.
no, Colonel Mustafa now.
Oh yeah, Colonel Mustafa. It could have been Colonel Sheik, but no, Colonel Mustafa.
And General Adnan, who just
Right.
looking at him, he's just like, oh, like he was definitely an older gentleman, but he just looked miserable too. But it was just, I guess, like just like he was playing it up on the camera. But
He and he looked so much like Saddam Hussein too. When you really look at him, he could have been like his big brother.
you know what they probably were gonna say? That's who it was. But they're like no, 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 no. We can't go that far. Like, well, they'll not let this character on TV after
It,
that.
it was definitely an implied, like, look at him. He has the mustache, the dark hair, the complexion. He looks. Who does he look like to you? The dictator of Iraq,
But
And it was just like visually, it was a mind fuck to see him in the uniform.
you know what's the other mind fuck in that picture? They made him the world champion.
Yes.
They had
He,
him dethrone the Ultimate Warrior at the Royal Rumble, and then go into Mania and main event it with Hulk Hogan. Gee,
Hogan, of
I wonder
course.
who's winning.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, listen, not for nothing at the time. Very well played.
What's it?
Very
Come
well.
on, are you
Put,
defending this?
yes, I am. Put the belt on the most hated person in the company so that the
Okay,
most beloved
okay, yeah,
person in the company can win the belt and triumph. I mean, come on, the story tells itself.
yeah. I mean, I don't know why. I remember watching this match randomly, and then there's the one spot where he drapes the Iraqi flag on Hulk Hogan. It's like, okay, now it's time for the pin. So that's one, two, kick out. Slaughter's in the corner, like his backs off. Hogan then starts ripping the Iraqi flag and then rubbing his face that's already covered in blood on the flag. I'm like,
Oh,
yeah, that won't
God.
fly nowadays ever.
No, not at all. Not at all.
If
Not
people,
at
if WWE get heat in Brazil from throwing a Brazilian flag on the floor and have Chris Jericho almost get arrested, you're not doing this fucking nonsense anymore these days.
No, not at all. Especially in this day and age where, the story has turned.
Right.
Yeah,
But I mean,
I'm looking through like photos now and I see that one picture of Hogan and Slaughter like facing off, and Hogan's not wearing his traditional red and yellow bandana. He's got the American flag
of
bandana.
course,
What an image. And they're just mean mugging each other.
that was the only WrestleMania that was like USA themed.
Yes. Yes,
And,
it was.
meanwhile, it was from Los Angeles, California.
Yeah, that was WrestleMania 7, right?
Uh,
Yeah, WrestleMania 7
yeah,
was another.
and
That was
that was the mania where they were going to do a bigger stadium, but ticket sales were
yes.
horrible,
That's
so they had to move the venue. And I think too that there was there were this is what they
threats.
always claim, that there was threats of a bombing.
there was threats of a bombing supposedly, so they moved somewhere differently. Some, like you said, somewhere smaller. But
A
yeah,
smaller
to be
venue.
honest, that's actually one of my favorite WrestleManias of all time. 7.
Mm.
Yeah, that's the Macho Man Ultimate Warrior retirement match. It was a really good show for the
Yeah.
time. For the time,
I was about to say it's
Foundation lost to the Nasty Boys.
and that was the end of the Hart Foundation as a team.
The
But
end of
it's
the Hart
also
Foundation.
like the Undertaker's streak started on that show.
Absolutely, it was there was a lot on that show when you really look back, and having that be the main event, Hogan and Slaughter, in that time, in that era, in that city. I mean, it would have been more appropriate if it was here in New York.
Oh God. Oh my God. I can only
Uh,
imagine too because they did Madison Square Garden like I don't want to say weekly, but monthly. But I can imagine the reactions that when this dude came out, and also too,
mhm.
like we when it comes to, like theme songs, when we talk about how important songs are, just the drum roll when this dude's because
Drum
that's all
roll.
it was.
Just a drum roll, and he's walking down the aisle with his, what was it that he would put in his mouth? There was something he would put in his mouth.
Uh,
I,
I mean,
I,
shit. I just said we had a really big chin, so he just had like a big like facial
but like almost like a, not a cigarette. It
cigar.
was, it was something. It was the picture, a fake picture of him with Saddam Hussein.
I mean,
I will say that's a really good Photoshop job for that time. I
yeah.
can't remember. You know what? I'm remembering wrong. He used to carry that little. He used to carry a little, like a little whipping stick.
Yeah, because I don't know.
I,
I know in the military it has like a name, but it's like the little whipping stick.
Yeah, it was like a little bully stick, but it was small and flexible, almost like a rubber.
Yeah.
I don't know why
I
I'm
forgot to mention that
thinking that
in his theme song, it was like just him saying like a turn hood, and then it's like I
yes,
need like he'd like still have this like
mouthing
Sergeant
off.
Slaughter quotes in it, but it was just all like a drum roll.
Yes, just talking mash shit, calling, like you said, calling everybody a maggot.
But I don't know if you remember this, but do you remember one of the things that WWE wanted him to do that he said no to? Is that
um, it sounds familiar, but I can't pull up the exact reason.
they wanted him to burn the American flag.
Right, right.
But
They wanted him to.
instead, he said, "I will burn a Hulkamania shirt in its
Right,
place."
exactly. Which I understand. You know,
Yeah,
flag burning is to this day. I mean, we see it more now because of everything going on in this country. But
yeah,
at that time, ooh, if he would have done that on TV, he would have. I think he would have been arrested.
yeah.
Hmm.
And that doesn't include anything that he's publicly admitted that he's not. Where I mean, let's also be real here. He's not a real soldier either.
No,
He
he
never
wasn't a real
served.
soldier. He never served. It was just a story. That's why I didn't. What's her name? Have a big to do about that.
I mean,
Um,
it's one of those things too where somebody actually looked into it to see like what like he did, and in the show like there's no record of him ever
no,
serving in the military or nothing.
he was just a wrestler and an actor. That's it.
And I love that WWE came out like, afterwards. They said like, "Oh, he never said he did that." Meanwhile, it's like there's been vignettes of them saying like, "Oh, he's fucking served this war and that war. He got a Purple Heart." And it's like,
Yeah.
you lying assholes.
I mean, at the end of the day, they could just be like, "But Sergeant Slaughter's just a character. You were just giving him a story."
But meanwhile, he gets to go to fucking McDonald's to get free burgers or shit, whatever the hell that is.
He was treated like a real American hero.
And that's an order. Which also was also his catchphrase too. Which think about it, like back then, that's like not the cheesiest thing. But it'd be
Oh yeah,
like he'd be like Hulk Hogan, like you're gonna lose, and that's an order. It's like,
I know. Like, give me 20.
but I mean, then we go down the line of more craziness. Not, I wouldn't say craziness, but then it was like once the 2000s hit, it definitely calmed down a little bit with the gimmicks, and then all of a sudden,
I love them so much. I just love them. I have so much love for Canadian wrestlers. I don't know what it is. A lot of the wrestlers that I absolutely adore are Canadian. I have to say it.
Yeah, this picture actually is just better because it's like when you look at the picture, it's like three upstanding Canadians, very talented individually as well, but just then you see the flag.
Yeah, the upside down flag. Woo! And
Yes, this
you would have thought they would have carried the Canadian flag. Because
yeah,
they
well,
already
this could have been
come.
WWE's version of Team Canada, but no, they went in a different direction. Of
Right.
one day on SmackDown in 2002, these three came out and said like, wait, we are three proud Canadians, and America sucks.
Yep. Out of nowhere. It's like, whoa, guys.
Yeah,
And like you see this picture, they look well, besides Lance Storm, he always looks so damn miserable. But that's just him. But you see
yeah,
Test and Christian look so happy.
yeah. And like for so long, and like up until that point, when like Christian and Tess were just like the pretty Canadian wrestlers.
Blondes.
Then in 2002, when Grant Storm makes the switch from when they bought WCW, he comes in
Yeah.
and they pretty much just adopt his gimmick of like we hate America too, and
Yes.
it's just they came out weeks with this flag upside down. I love the merch. You gotta admit too, where it was just a black T-shirt with America flag, but just upside down.
Yeah, they went with it.
Yeah. I think if the flag is upside down, it means something. I forgot what it was.
Yeah, it's basically like an anti-America symbolism. I mean, again in this day and age, you see a lot of people walking around with. Like even yesterday, there were people walking around with the flag upside down, and you're like, why are you walking around with the flag upside down
Of all the days, too.
of all the days? And you're like supremacists. Anyway, it was very odd to see that footage yesterday. I was like, okay,
But
we're living in the Twilight Zone right now.
I think it's another thing, too, to bring up that when they were doing this gimmick, I think it was still, 6 months removed from 9/11?
I believe so.
At least over 6 months, because this was going into the summer of '02.
Yeah, so definitely within a year. So it came out. It was like, okay, we're doing this now, huh? Okay,
Yeah,
we're jumping
with
again,
Lance
jumping on the
Storm,
bandwagon.
Christian, and Test.
Yeah, of all people, Canadians do this, and it's like I guess that was their way of testing the waters of a patriotic, anti-patriotic gimmick without it being outright like going back to what they did with Sergeant Slaughter. You know?
Yeah, and also too, weirdly enough, they had the sense or like the cadence of like the right to censor.
Uh huh.
Because like they would say like, oh, like all these American values are bullshit. Like you people don't know how to like, you people misrepresent your country. Meanwhile, we represent Canada proudly.
Exactly.
Like that nonsense. And then you have like your baby face like Booker T. Bay. Like that's like this is what makes this our country great. Like hot lesbian action, and you'd just be like, that's not the first thing I'd bring up. But come on, let's do better.
Okay, Booker, this is what makes America America. Okay, if that's what
Yeah.
you think, then you
Yeah.
you need to let
Yeah,
me know over here.
is it too late to join the Un-Americans? But I mean, and again, this
Weird.
was another one of those things too, where it's like, what's the purpose of this? Uh, gotta make the
Yeah,
Undertaker look strong.
that's the only thing I could think of is I'm like, where was this going? What was the point? Like, what started this? What caused them to turn into so? I mean, they were always pro Canadian, but what made them turn anti-American?
I mean,
And
they won.
didn't I'm sorry, but didn't William Regal join in for a little bit?
Yeah, that was towards the tail end of it, but it was one of those things too where they had them win the tag titles from Edge and Hulk Hogan. Edge and Hulk Hogan.
Because yesterday my brother sent me a video. He was sending me videos of the the match cards for pay-per-views back then, and he's
Yes.
like, "When the hell did they team up, let alone win the belt?"
Yeah,
And I'm like,
Edge and Hogan won them on a 4th of July episode of SmackDown, and then It's like, oh, now we're gonna drop them to the un-Americans, which was one of those weird big accomplishments. It's like, well, we beat America's biggest hero. And it's like, okay, like that was okay start, but then it was like once they moved over to Raw, Undertaker was pro America gimmick at that point, the
Right.
American badass. So it's like, oh, now I know what's happening here. It's just
Right.
Body's fitting Undertaker to kill, and then
Right.
the defining moment for this stable was in Madison Square Garden where they threatened to burn the American flag. Gee, I wonder where I've heard that one before.
Right. Boy, Vince really wanted to see that flag burn.
Funny enough, that was the reason for that was to have Kane return.
Right.
Kane would debut his new look with the updated new mask.
Yes. Yes.
But after that, it was pretty much nothing. Test. The statement I'm about to say next is a fucking true statement. Test would then go off to be paired off with his real life girlfriend Stacy and do the testicles stuff.
Right.
Christian
Oh.
would then pair off with Jericho, and then Storm would still kind of do the un-American stuff, but it was like he was paired with Regal, and then just be waving the
Hmm.
Canadian flag and the United Kingdom flag. But
Right.
other than that, like this didn't last long. This was just a summer gimmick going into the fall, but
Yeah, it served a purpose to put certain people, you know, up. Like I can't believe we can't remember. We could not remember Hogan and Edge ever teaming, let alone being tag team champions. That was a blip in our memories.
it was in 2002 when we'll talk about it later on in a future episode. But a lot of stuff happened in that short year.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, that was a. I could tell you as a fan, we were everywhere, going to shows, and because they were in this area a lot.
Yes, and then, I mean, the final one we got to talk about is
Hmm.
Mr. Muhammad Hassan.
Fake ass kafia he's wearing. That's not even a real one. What
I
is
mean,
on? What the hell?
you know what? This is
This
better off.
part.
Just doing
This
this.
was yeah. Yeah, that's just a regular. It's nice though, but this
And
gimmick, man.
what is before I give my memories because when I was younger, this was one of those gimmicks as I was watching weekly where this all of a sudden popped up on my TV and I go, okay, I
Yeah,
am slightly confused, but
I hated this stuff so much.
I
I
mean,
at this point, it just felt so inappropriate to me. You
I
know,
mean, what's wrong with an Italian from New York pretending, not pretending, but being Arab American?
right? An Arab American terrorist.
Let me,
Like it
let
was
me,
so. At this point, it's so inappropriate. Like this is like real. Like it's just so inappropriate.
Muhammad Hassan, an Arab American character whose gimmick was initially a critique of American xenophobia before transitioning into an anti-American heel. Because they had the vignettes of him, hey, my name is Muhammad Hassan, and Americans look down on people like me. They give me
Right.
weird, or they give me looks when I walk through an airport or go to stores,
Yeah.
and as a kid I go, I'm sorry, what? But he talk pretty much talks about like what happened after 9/11.
Yeah, and it was very true. Obviously, there was a lot of anti-Arab, anti-Muslim, anti-Brown sentiment at the time.
Right.
Anybody who was of that resembled what could have possibly been an Arab were getting attacked. Even if you were Hispanic and you just happened to have that look, because Hispanics and Arabs tend to favor each other, they were getting attacked, spit on, assaulted, whatever the case may be, because of what they thought happened on 9/11.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it wasn't just one isolated race. It was just everybody that didn't look American just got it
Yeah.
from everybody.
Everybody who had a little tan and dark hair and dark eyes got it, pretty much. But it's like, okay, I the origin of it where like this is me and this is how I'm getting treated and it's not fair. Okay,
This
I can
is,
see that being valid. But the fact is, he wasn't even Middle Eastern. Like you couldn't just there's plenty of Middle Eastern wrestlers you could have gotten to do this. I mean, you even had him paired up with a couple.
I mean, he was. I might be wrong, but I think he does. There's just a little bit of. I don't know what would be the word to use, but like, he maybe maybe like percentage wise been like
I
Middle
don't.
Eastern.
I don't. All I know is that he's Italian. That's all I
Yeah,
ever.
Italian
That
from fucking New York.
he's like a principal now somewhere.
Yes,
Um.
yeah, that's what his life after wrestling got better. But
That's
in the
true.
world of wrestling, it's this, and he had Cosmo Davari, who would would speak the language,
Oh,
but it
he
was
yeah,
just
Parsi. The
Parsi. Thank you. I was trying to think of the word that I've heard
Navarre.
people use, but yeah, but when he would speak it, it's very angry, direct, like yelling.
Stereotypical.
Right.
Yeah. At that point, it was like, we're so beyond this. Why are we doing this shit? Why are we doing this shit?
4 years removed from 9/11, this is what you do.
We're trying to move forward from everything. I mean, in my opinion, I felt like the country devolved after 9/11. Like, it just downhill after that in terms of like everything.
Right.
It's just we didn't need this, and we didn't need this. We didn't need it. Sorry, I didn't like it. I'm glad that it didn't really stick around super long. Um, yeah, I hated it. I hated it, and especially like I had met Sean Davari and his brother at a Ring of Honor show, and they were just the sweetest, most gentle, most nicest guys. And then you got this guy on TV now playing this freaking alluding to being a terrorist, and it's like, why are we doing this?
Right.
We don't
I
need
mean,
this. We don't need this.
you made a comment about his headpiece,
Yes,
but then it gradually evolved to him wearing the full fucking outfit.
right.
So then to the point of in his entrance and then in the ring, like he would go on both knees and just do.
Yeah,
Like I'll give the guy credit. He was told to do something and he fucking did it. So
he did, he did it
the
as
best
well
he
as he
can.
could.
Yeah.
The best he could. He was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but this is what they want me to do. This is what they're paying me to do. Then I'm gonna do it. I get that.
Yeah.
But boy, I just can't. Like, I just can't. Like, it's just not good.
I mean, have you seen the moment of him in the Royal Rumble match?
I vaguely remember him. I vaguely remember, so you may have to refresh my memory.
So it was like they had like four guys from Raw, four guys from SmackDown brawling with each other, like Eddie, Ray, Booker, Jericho, Benoit, Guerrero, Benjamin, Edge, and with the Reigns was in there because that was a weird time in wrestling. But they're all
Yeah,
fighting each other, and then this dude comes out. Everybody in the ring stops, stares at him. The crowd is like saying like USA, USA, USA. The guy gets in the middle of the ring, and then all 8 people jump this fucker and beat him up, and then toss his ass out the ring. Like for one moment, all 8 people like united
yeah,
just to go against this Arab
yeah.
American.
Right. Just bullshit.
I mean, and then like there'll be weeks of him going on TV like I've been disgraced, I've been humiliated, I've been looked down upon. Like you don't put me in the Money in the Bank ladder match, I don't get a championship match, I don't get nothing. And then we gotta have him interact with Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then Stone Cold has to make the comment, "I see sand people."
Yeah,
I mean, my God.
yeah. Horrible.
And
It's
that's not even the worst. Because then they move his ass to SmackDown. Because Spike TV said, I had enough of this fucking character. Get it off my channel. Goes to
Mhm.
SmackDown. Feuds with The Undertaker. And then they have these four jacked up guys in like camo pants and black sweaters and black masks and try to murder The Undertaker.
I- It's
And
so.
again, with the whole Muhammad Hassan going on his knees, looking up, and then these four guys come out of nowhere and beat up The Undertaker. And this is at the same time as fucking bombings in Paris.
Yeah, and I was just watching this like why like it's just so like 'cause I'm a grown adult at this point.
Yes.
I'm a grown woman at this point, and I'm just watching this shit like this is just so disgusting to me. You know,
I know because of your personal background, and yeah, I can only
that
imagine.
just watching this shit like I was so sick and tired of you know the discrimination that people were having just because of what they thought happened, and or they were led to believe what happened. In my opinion, that's a whole other story. Um, and then to have somebody come on screen and perpetrate that stereotype even more, and it's somebody who's just has nothing to do with that culture
All right.
and making it and just doing everything so wrong. Everything was just wrong, 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 wrong. And that's always been an issue with wrestling is when they take characters and make them, a foreign character and make them this awful human being that will just you know, hate America and hate everybody else and just turn them into these assassins, terrorists and whatnot. And you don't think about the fans that are the of that background that are watching. You don't think about that? No, you don't think about that. And it's just so ugh, it's just so disgusting. So
Yeah,
disgusting.
yeah, I knew once like when we talked about this episode, I knew like there was gonna be some like fun and like we could laugh at the other stuff. But I think when it comes to this stuff, like with you knowing you personally, I just knew that this was gonna be.
Yeah. I always that character is so so tasteless.
And again, this is
You
not
know.
against the person Mark Carpani that played the
Yes,
character.
see, I felt bad for him at the end of the day that he got stuck with this because it's like, damn, this got nothing to do with me.
But it's
They're
also
like,
this one gimmick destroyed his whole wrestling career. Like he never came back. Like he never like because once this that angle happened on SmackDown, UPN said we don't want him. We don't want this
right,
character back on our screen. So they had a young Tommaso Ciampa come out as his lawyer and say like, oh, he's on a permanent leave of SmackDown. We'll come back. Then he had the match with Undertaker at the Bash, and then they had pretty much Undertaker kill him. Then
yeah.
do a last ride through the stage, and then they said like, oh, he suffered spinal injuries,
Hmm.
so he
And
never came back, and he never did. They never brought him back as another character. He just was done.
you couldn't because he would have that stink on him. They could have brought him back as his government name, and people be like, "Oh, wait a minute, wasn't he Arab just a couple of months ago? Now he's Italian. What the fuck?"
They couldn't do like any reform gimmick, or he made a statement, or say like, listen, I portrayed this, and I apologize. Wrestling
They
did
could.
nothing for him. They just said, you know what, enough. We're done. You're fired, and this
We
poor
ruined your
bastard lost a job.
Yeah, we ruined your career. So figure it out for yourself, buddy.
And he did
'Cause
figure it out, where he pretty much went back to school and he's now a successful principal in the school system here in New York.
yeah, and and he looks happy. He looks great. You know.
But it's just one of those characters that just ruined what could have been uh, like a decent career for the man. Because I don't know if you remember this, but they wanted to put the world title on him at SummerSlam and
Right.
have him beat Batista in Washington D.C.
Ooh, yeah. Hello.
Can you fucking imagine?
Number one, Washington D.C., the capital. Number two, isn't that where
The Arab
Batista?
American's going to win the world title.
And isn't Batista a DC native? I
Yes.
believe. Yeah, no, that would have been crazy. and it was just I just it's so bad. Like you really like you look back and you're like, man, to be in his shoes, to look back at that and be like, what the hell was I thinking? Why did I agree to do this?
I mean, there was no resistance. I mean, it was pretty much what the boss wanted, and the boss said, "You're going to be Arab American."
Right. And it's like you say no, and it's like, okay, well then you're fired.
Yeah. And the thing was,
Yeah.
he was in OVW and it had a completely different gimmick. He was like a playboy like type, of, and you look at him and say, "Okay, I can buy
Woo!
it," but then it's like, "Oh, like I see dark skin, so let's do this."
Yeah, like oh my god. And you know, like the dude, he was so good looking. And they should have just kept that whole thing going with him. There was no need to repackage him. Like, dude already had his own gimmick. He had the look to back it up. Decent in the ring.
Yeah.
They could have went with that direction and could have avoided all this nasty mess. Make us Steve Austin say some racist shit.
I mean, I know they don't script Austin stuff, but I mean, him just saying like I see sand people. I mean, I hope that's like not meant to be offensive, but it's just like something he come off the top. He's like, oh, what's wrong with what I'm saying? But it's just,
It's totally offensive.
you know. But
Totally.
I'm not defending him. I'm just saying that in that moment he probably didn't think of what the
Oh,
connotation was. It's just,
said camel jockey. You know what I mean? Who
I mean,
I
I
actually
mean,
got
I,
into somebody about the other day about that. Online fight, like always.
but it's just also, I mean, it's like I doubt you were watching TNA in 2008 because Davari would go over there and pretty much do
Yes.
the Arab Iraqi, not the Iraqi, but the Arab gimmick.
Yeah, the Middle
And
Eastern game.
I shit you not, his theme song at the beginning of it had a plane crashing in it. He had a
Yeah.
plane crash at the beginning of his song.
Like it's
The
just so like
the Middle Eastern nightmare they called him, the Sheikh
I,
Abdul Bashir.
yes. And it was like, why are we doing this again? Like there's
In
no need. It's
2008,
2008 of all times. Like let this go. Let this go. Let these people stop having to compromise themselves, you know?
yeah.
Shit.
She, I mean, shit. There's no other way to go. Just like make this like there's no positive spin on anything. It's
Oh,
just like miserable nonsense that just shows like what the times were in wrestling.
goodness, isn't it? And like the way things were represented as like, oh, that's a symbol of hate. Thankfully now we see Davari on Ring of Honor, and he comes out with the fear, but he wears it proudly. You know,
Right.
it's proud. He's proud. He's a proud Persian man.
Yeah.
Oh God! And Mustafa Ali, he's a proud Muslim wrestler.
Yeah.
Represents like that's how you represent that culture, like with
Yeah.
pride. Because any culture should be represented with pride, as
Yeah.
long as it's not racist. you
Yeah.
know,
The one thing for Mustafa Ali, however you want to say his name, but he
Mhm.
brought that up in an interview, saying like when they asked him like how do you pronounce your name, and he was like, oh no,
Right? It's
because
Mustafa.
yeah,
Everybody always says Mustafa because they
or
would hear
the
Mustafa.
way I just said it, Mustafa Ali, because I'm just
Right.
like it's not just I'm not saying that's insensitive on my part. I was just like that's how I see his
That's
name, and that's how I've
right.
heard his name pronounced. But then once he brought that where it's like when like Road Dogg asked him like how do you pronounce your name, and then he was like hesitant on how to say it.
Right.
But
It's
now it's like
Mustafa.
Mustafa
Yeah.
Ali.
Yeah. You put that you put the emphasis on the Mustafa.
Correct.
That's the
Right.
correct way to say it. And cool ass dude too, man.
Oh yeah, he's very talented. I know some people don't give a shit about TNA nowadays, but I do hope world title
I
reign soon for him.
I know. I really would. I really would have loved to have seen him step away from TNA and get more exposure in like AEW because he really could have done a great job there too. I think, and I think he was trying to kind of like pitch himself, but unfortunately,
But you
the
know,
whole
he seems happy. He's doing great on his own. But it's just like with a lot of these other stuff too. I mean, like a lot of these anti-American gimmicks we've been talking about. Just the Muhammad Hassan one is like the most offensive one.
One of the most, probably one of the most offensive gimmicks ever across the board.
Right.
And there's been a lot.
I mean,
There's
shit.
still,
Eugene was out there, but this was worse.
yeah, because at least Eugene was like, people loved him no matter what. Like people, even though he was treated like less than by, in the storylines, you
Yeah.
know, face, people cheered for him, people sympathized with him.
I mean, and this is like 2005, 2008. We talked about with those gimmicks. I mean, there's been other attempts at other small gimmicks that are like anti-American. I mean, Rusev and Lana,
Right.
like again with Russia, it was very it was entertaining when they'd be like we're here for our fearless leader Vladimir Putin, and they just put his picture
Ah,
on the screen. So like that, there's like small stuff like that.
I remember, like, what? Like that was the one that really had me like, why are we doing this in this day and age? Why
And
are we
then in 2015, 2016,
hmm
and then I can't think of any others in the past decade aside from that was
No.
probably the last one they attempted.
Yeah, I really can't think of anyone else.
I mean, maybe
No.
Jinder a little bit. They tried.
Ginger a little bit, yeah, I would say that. They try to do that, but it was just well, it was,
Yeah,
again, didn't it just didn't fly at all. I mean, the guy didn't really get, people see him in a negative light too, and it's actually not bad. Looking back.
but I think it's also like how much of the current culture plays into this. Like,
Hmm.
because if they even tried doing something, not for nothing. Okay, so I was just reminded of thinking about this because we just talked about him, but Mustafa Ali.
Right.
That remember when he had those vignettes of him at a podium and him talking
Yes.
about how he wants to change the world.
Hmm.
That was in a wrestling sense, but people looked at that and said like, "Oh, there's content." Like, but you're not for
Right.
nothing. He's drawing from what the fuck's going on in the world.
Exactly.
He's saying like, oh,
Absolutely.
like wrestling needs a better character, or like needs somebody to stand up for what's wrong. And god damn it, it's gonna be me.
Right. And he lives that. You see him posting online about what's going on in the world and how how that affects him personally and how he understands it affects people as a whole, not just within the Middle East, but the whole world. Because what's happening there is easily happening here too.
Yes.
You know?
And funny enough, he has a fucking faction named Order Four.
Yeah.
His whole gimmick is based on like current climate of the
Yes.
world.
Yes. He ran. He's a political. It's politically driven. He's like a politician, basically.
Yeah,
It's
but he's
almost
not.
like,
But he's not outright saying negative things. He's implying it. That's the best part.
and it's so funny because when Mamdani started running for mayor, I was like, holy shit! It's the real life person behind Mustafa's gimmick.
Yes. So I mean that would be the closest thing in today's wrestling. That's like because all these gimmicks have something in common in the sense of like they were talking about something in the current world.
Right, and they were all the enemy of the United States.
Right, but it's also ran by mostly a U.S. promotion that's pro USA.
Right, so they have to play it off like they were hateful, evil, cold.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, anything else before we do our sign off? Because I mean, I don't know what else to say.
I really don't have anything else to add. I mean, we definitely covered it. We pretty much made mention how a lot of these gimmicks weren't even really of that culture. That's the crazy part.
I think
Real Russians. The only one was Iron Sheik. He's the only one that was actually Persian.
right.
You
Yeah,
know,
pretty much. Everybody else was just portraying a different
yeah,
nationality or race or whatever.
Russian or
I think
even
I,
Yokozuna is another one.
I mean, yeah, too, but it was But again, that wasn't. I don't think there was a lot of anti-American. It was just like a big Samoan playing a Japanese wrestler.
It's a little bit there. There was a little bit there.
I
There
mean, with the,
definitely was.
yeah,
Yeah,
I guess
Mr.
with
It was. It definitely was. Especially when they try to, have him go up against Lex Luger, who was so American when he came in,
yeah,
Lex was
that,
first on the shit. And who was his first? Yeah, he body slams a big Japanese guy.
it's really Samoan.
He was really Samoan. Right. On the
But
Intrepid, of all places.
yeah, that's an oh Jesus, yeah. I mean, but I think that's more of a storyline. That's really not character based or
I
yeah. Because
think
I
they
always think
kind
of that,
of
I think of that as a storyline more.
they kept it more subtle with him because I think at that point relations with Japan were way better than they had been, 20, 30, 40 years before that.
Right.
But there was always like that subtle undertone
Yeah.
that he was an enemy of the state. To put it like that.
Right. You know what? The final thing to go off on, I guess the final question is: does this still belong in professional wrestling?
No. No. No, 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 no. Not one bit, no.
So
Absolutely.
the next generation of wrestlers, we're no longer tell them to be Russian or Middle
No.
Eastern.
Listen, that's like bringing in Hispanic wrestlers and having them be like cartel. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like that's so like holy shit. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Or illegal. Like, oh yeah, the whole thing. Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even bring up like when TNA had like LAX, and again they threatened to burn the American flag because that was just like
Yeah.
another like a small instance of like oh Latinos being mad at America.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, in 2026, should wrestling have anti-American gimmicks or characters?
No. If anything, we should just have get characters that embrace their culture with pride without having to be against another culture.
Right.
You know? There's no need for that. We want peace in this world. We're tired of fighting. We're tired of seeing constant war, 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 constant people getting blown up, and I don't know. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. Like this has to stop. So you don't want to see it portrayed on something that helps you escape the world. You know?
Yeah. Not for nothing. Wrestling is used as an escape for a lot of people to get out of like whatever is going on in their world. It's another thing when wrestling chooses to use out like what's going on in the world that you're trying to get away from.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
it's supposed to be that fun escape, not to be like, oh, I'm reminded of the bullshit that's going on in the world when I tune into Mondays or Fridays or whatever day of the week.
Yeah. See, exactly. Thank God we don't have that issue with AEW. We haven't had that issue. Everybody's promoted in a way that's beautiful. Even if they're heels, they're still proud of who they are. you know?
Yeah, I mean Mondays and Fridays they've been better with it, I will say.
Yeah.
But all right, where can everybody find us at?
Oh yeah, you can find us at Instagram at history at headlocks. You can find us on Facebook now. We are under history and headlocks with our new page. You can find our videos on YouTube under the New York Wrestle Media channel, and we are on all the podcast outlets as well. Just look up New York Wrestle Media wherever you want to watch your podcast or listen to your podcast. We're there too. We're everywhere.
Absolutely, and we are gonna have that's pretty much gonna be this episode of History and Headlocks Anti-America gimmicks slash characters. So make sure you guys tap that bell, click the subscribe button because we're almost at 1,000 subscribers. Everybody,
Yes.
we definitely want to reach that goal by the end of the year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you guys do subscribe, there's gonna be hopefully something special that we're gonna be doing on the side as do on the side along with history and headlocks. But we're gonna have to
Yeah.
talk to our superintendent, super producer Jay Santee about that. But until next time, please like, comment, and subscribe. And everybody, class is dismissed.
Sit, turn type, sit. Good boy.